Have you ever made those big, ambitious plans, New Year's resolutions maybe, only to, well, watch them kind of fade away after a few weeks?
Happens to the best of us, right?
It really does.
Mm.
Or maybe you're just looking for, like, a real way to build the life you actually want. If that sounds like you, then yeah, this deep dive is definitely for you. Today, we're going to cut through some of the usual noise. We're looking at something that sounds simple, but it's actually pretty deep.
Okay.
It's about how our everyday actions, the little things we do, aren't just, tasks. They're actively shaping who we are becoming.
Right. Building blocks.
Exactly, like our identity, our future self. It's being built choice by choice, day by day.
Yeah.
So the source we're digging into today is The Habit of Excellence, Shaping Your Future Self. We've got some really interesting ideas pulled from it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and our mission really is just to pull out the key takeaways to help us all get a better handle on how consistency and building habits intentionally are really the keys to becoming that future self we aim for.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Well, to really get this idea of how consistent choices shape us, the book starts with a quote. It seems simple on the surface, but it's powerful. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit.
Yeah, that quote. It's really something because it totally reframes how we think about who we are, doesn't it?
It does.
It's it's not about that one big success or that heroic moment. It's about the stuff you do day in, day out, your consistent practice.
So not just wishing or planning.
Exactly. The book makes it super clear that excellence isn't like this sudden lightning strike of achievement or some talent you're born with.
Right.
It's the result, the buildup of small, deliberate actions, things you do over and over again. It's powerful because it puts the focus back on the process. Not just the finish line.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. Because for someone feeling maybe overwhelmed, thinking they need this huge life change, that idea of simplicity is actually really appealing. So you're saying the book suggests you don't need some massive, earth-shattering shift to start.
Precisely. That's the core message, really. If you want to be more disciplined or kinder or more successful, the path isn't some giant leap.
Okay.
It's about starting to repeat those actions you want to embody consistently until they just become part of you. The book gives these really clear examples, like want to be a better writer, write every day.
Simple enough.
Or want to be fit, exercise daily. It sounds almost too simple, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
But that's where the magic is supposed to happen, in that daily, persistent, sometimes even boring effort.
But okay, for listeners, and maybe for me too, who've tried starting habits before and failed.
Yeah.
That just repeated advice can feel a bit, I don't know, simplistic. Does the source get into the how? Like the actual mechanics of making these small actions stick? Is it just gritting your teeth, willpower, or is there something else going on?
That's a really important question. And yeah, the book definitely digs into that. It argues pretty strongly that willpower, well, it's not the whole story. It's actually kind of unreliable on its own.
Okay, so what else is there?
It talks about understanding the psychology behind it. Specifically, it introduces this concept called the habit loop.
Habit loop.
Okay, yeah, it's a framework, basically. Simple, but quite powerful. There's a cue, something that triggers the behavior, then the routine, the behavior itself, and finally the reward, the benefit you get from doing it.
Cue, routine, reward. Got it.
Understanding that loop and, more importantly, learning how to consciously design it for the habits you want. That's one of the most practical bits in the book.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say your cue is finishing your workday. Your routine could be maybe immediately changing into workout clothes and heading to the gym. And the reward might be that feeling of accomplishment afterwards or, less stress. By making that loop clear in your mind, you start to gain control over it rather than just relying on feeling motivated.
Ah, okay. So it's not just forcing the action. It's understanding the whole cycle, the trigger, the action, the payoff that makes it stick.
Exactly. It's about making it almost automatic, less reliant on moment-to-moment decisions.
This idea, then, that our habits literally sculpt us, that we become a reflection of them, that's pretty heavy when you think about it.
It really is.
Does the book talk about the sort of psychological weight of that, how much responsibility that puts on our daily choices?
Oh, absolutely. That's a central theme. The book really emphasizes that habits aren't just things we do. They actively shape who we are right down to our core.
Wow.
It explicitly says eventually we become a reflection of them. And that works both ways,
How so?
Well, it's kind of a warning, first off. If you're stuck in habits that aren't serving you, You're essentially training yourself day by day in the wrong direction. You're literally paving neural pathways that reinforce those patterns you don't want.
Ugh,
okay. But, and this is the crucial part, it's also incredibly motivating. Because if you consciously choose and build positive, intentional habits, you're proactively sculpting that future self you aspire to be.
So you're like casting votes for the person you want to become.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. Every time you perform that positive habit, it's a vote. And enough votes, consistently cast, they eventually change the outcome. They redefine your identity.
This sounds almost deceptively simple again. Are there any hidden traps or common ways people misunderstand this? I mean, so many people still think success is mostly about raw talent or just getting lucky.
Right. The overnight success myth.
Yeah. How does the book tackle that perception head on?
It confronts it directly. It basically argues that excellence isn't a lottery ticket. It's not about luck. It's not even primarily about innate talent. It's a lifestyle.
A lifestyle.
Yeah, a direct result of deliberate choices and consistent, persistent effort. It really pushes back against talent being the main thing. Instead, it talks about design destiny.
Design destiny. Okay, tell me more.
The idea is that you don't just happen to become great at something because you were born with a gift. You become great by consistently doing the things that great people in that field do. It's about the actions.
So practice over predisposition.
Largely, yes. The book actually shares this story about a struggling writer. Totally blocked, they committed to writing just 50 words a day. That's it. Tiny, right?
50 words, that's barely anything.
Exactly. But that minuscule, consistent habit done every single day without fail eventually led to finishing their first novel. It drives home the point that it's often not the size of the goal that matters most, but the consistency of the daily ritual, that minimum viable action repeated relentlessly, that kind of quiet, almost invisible effort. The book suggests that's what makes success almost inevitable over time, not luck.
That story really makes it click. So putting it all together, we're talking about not just what we do, but realizing those actions are actively defining who we are becoming, and then understanding the mechanics, like that cue routine reward loop, so the actions actually stick.
Right, taking control of the process.
And finally, consciously designing our habits, maybe certain super small, to build towards that design destiny instead of leaving it to chance or willpower.
You've got it. And that leads to the book's final kind of crucial piece of practical advice, which is basically start with one habit today.
Just one.
Just one. And repeat it. Repeat it until it's not something you do anymore, but part of who you are. It's about integration, making it automatic, designing your environment to support it, and just internalizing that every tiny choice is a brick in the building of you.
So, okay, let's wrap this up. The big takeaway here seems to be our identity, the excellence we might be chasing. It's not waiting out there for some big moment.
No.
It's being forged right now, today, in the daily grind almost of our consistent intentional habits. Understanding how those habits work, how they rewire us. That's the key. We really truly become what we repeatedly do.
And recognizing that simple truth, it really does have profound implications. It kind of invites you, doesn't it, to look critically at your own daily patterns.
Yeah, definitely makes you think.
And to see them not just as routines, but as the active construction of the person you're going to be tomorrow, next week, next year. Maybe think of it less like fixing flaws and more like, well, consciously sculpting your future self with every little thing you repeat.
That's a powerful reframe. So, as we leave you to think about all this, here's something to maybe chew on today. If your future self is like this masterpiece you're creating, what's one specific, maybe almost ridiculously small action? What's the first tiny brushstroke you could start repeating, maybe even starting today? How could that one little habit, if you stick with it, not just change what you do, but actually start to redefine who you are becoming?